As we grow up in our life, and many of you might have been at Guru Ramdas ashram today, and if you have listened to Hukam, many lifetimes you have been this, 8.4 million lifetime, many times you have been worm, many times you have been this and that, all the life was explained. But somehow because of the fortunate time, you have become a human. Now is the time of deliverance. That's what the message on this birthday. Now, I'm not asking you to judge yourself. I'm asking you to be conscious of yourself. Actually, what has happened in our life is that we are ill-trained. We are not ill people, we are not sick people. We are ill-trained. There's a tremendous nuisance about our priorities in life. Now, whether you are rich or poor, you are educated or uneducated, you are wise or you are stupid, that will not make any difference. Nothing. The person who will fail in life is the person who does not have the strength, the tolerance. Person who cannot even tolerate things, he cannot think right. Thinking, what you call it, intellectual response, is automatic. Whatever the reaction to your body is, your body has a capacity of automatic intelligence response. Because intellectual is always considering your whole life and giving you a release of thoughts. It's automatic process, you cannot stop that. So if the intellect is giving you the release of thought, the intelligence has to give the response to it. And that is how you make emotions. Emotions are not made because intellect gives you a thought, so because intellect gives you a thought, therefore automatically some thoughts you process and some you don't. That's not true. That's not true. You have an automatic response by the intelligence, and sometimes your conscious pick it up, sometimes your subconscious pick it up, sometimes your unconscious pick it up. There are three pickers there. It's not you still. I mean, it is surprising, I sit here and I see human being and I see their misery and I understand it fully well, but they don't. It's amazing. You see somebody and his coat is on the fire and you tell him your coat is in the fire. He says, which way? Left, right? Reason you are rude to yourself, that you don't want to understand the sophistication about yourself. The way you are insecure about yourself, because you do not see the vastness of the God. How blind a man can be. That he went through the fall season, he saw every leaf coming down, and his own leaf of ego doesn't come down. How much you can understand winter will come down and the entire land will be covered with the whiteness and the grace of the snow. Man has never tried even to cover for that season to his own grace. Give me a one person who does not understand emotionalism and realism never meet. And who's one among us who's not emotional? So these are the questions in life. And that is why the yoga came through. That's why man started developing his strength, his grit, his character, his base, his commitment, his faith, his religion. Religion was not needed by man to begin with. Man didn't understood what is a religion, what are the rules, and why he has to obey and why he has to disobey, why he has to go for it. People who do not want to obey will never be rich because they will never know how to obey the opportunity. You do not understand the subtleties. Life is a very subtle game. People who do not know give will never be fulfilled. Never. Because whatever will stop over time shall stink. That's the law. Laws are laws. Man recognized the nature. Man recognized the law of nature. Man understood his pain because he was in conflict with the universal capacity of the nature. When the magnetic field of the psyche individual conflicts with the magnetic field of the universe, there shall be a tragedy. It's not a matter of wisdom or is a matter of foolishness. It's a matter of conflict. There are some people, you talk to them, they are damn rude, stupidly rude, obnoxiously rude. You can't even deal with them. It is exactly in your car. You put a program and you find in a radio a obnoxious program. What do? You shut it up. You can't go along with it. Amongst an ordinary mechanical life, we understand what harmony is, what soothingness is. And if we are asked to just behave that way, we don't. Simple law, you take and take and take and take. Everything will go empty. You direct your things wrong. Your attitude is wrong. You exploit a situation. You can be wrong as a mother, you can be wrong as a father, you can be wrong as parents, you can be wrong as a man, you can be wrong as a woman. Where is the wrong? There is no wrong. It is a disharmony with the harmony. It is a conflict with the flow. It is your attitude. 80% of the divorces in this country and 100% of the break of the relationship in this country comes out of only obnoxiousness. We are mentally, obnoxiously, are not willing to accommodate each other. We enforce each other to follow the rule which we want. I want this. You come through. I want this true, provided you who has to follow is also being benefited. This is true. I want what I want. And I want this. And my want has to be satisfied. Your blood is on the line. You are being sucked dead and dry. True. You'll go for it if you'll find there's a good of you and your future in it. And if I say, I want this, and you are not part of it, and you got to deliver it, tell me who will get it done. That's why always the dictatorship has failed. And that is always a democracy is a lethargy. In democracy, nobody can decide what they want. Democracy is the next sister of anarchy. Because fool has one vote and wise man has one vote. And fools are always in majority. Wise are always in minority. And dictatorship, there's one man, he's very wise and he wants to drive all the fools. So there's not enough force, system will break. So when Yogi Bhajan says the humanity is unmanageable phenomena, it is true. And if that would not have been true, God could have managed it. He couldn't, He let it go. So God wanted the human as a phenomena to manage by its own self. That is where self came. That is, God has to become creative. Within God, it was unmanageable affair which got to be managed. In everybody's life, there is a God, and that God is extension, little more of you, which you cannot manage. There's no such thing as a God. It's a drama. There is something in you which is unmanageable and which need to be managed. There is something was in God. When God was in perfect self-esteem, sitting, maneuvering, manipulating within his own self, it was self-contained. It couldn't be managed. That's why the universe God created. When there's nothing in the refrigerator, no time to cook, what do? You go to a restaurant, don't you? When you cannot sit in a home and there is no peace and quiet for you, and you are not contained within the circumstance, you move out. Reaction to expand is your natural phenomena. But if that is the force to deal with, then you need a direction. Itch is there. Itch is there. It's a human. Itch is there. Grace is not. Expansion is there. You see sometime, you read a news, that roof caved in, 30 people died. That bridge fell apart, 6 cars went down with it. What was it? The holding strength of the girder couldn't take it. Life is just like that. The human psyche, when cannot deal with the phenomena of the pressure, it cannot exist. And just remember, 75% is the stupid pressure. 25% is the dealing pressure. So if you cannot bifurcate the stupidity from the wisdom, you are a lot more in trouble than you think you are. You can be totally blinded by your emotions, your needs, and your wants. I tell you the theory of the conflict. Theory of the conflict, I want. And whatever I want, I must not misunderstand. I has absolutely a zero square root along with to be go with. In my one want, there are 9 more thoughts. In my one side, there are 9 more sides to be dealt with. There's absolutely no such thing as I want. Human life has a simple thing, is a union, is a yoga, is a union to finite to deal with infinity. I don't see any religion. I don't see any direction. I don't see any human. I see terrible, wonderful living misery by the blinded emotions. And one who opens himself sees the direct path. Nadri Mokdwar, he sees the path of clarity, moksha, freedom. Why one sees and others don't? Because one is indulged in I within itself. The one who sees the Tao. Seeing the creation and not seeing the creator. It's very amazingly foolish. Getting indulgent, involved with creation. It is very funny. That day somebody was just combing the hairs. I was watching. Combed left, combed right, combed up, combed down, combed this, combed this. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Comb, 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 comb. And I just said, do you know why are the hairs? There was no answer. You get an itch in the scalp, you start combing your hair. But you do not know why there is an itch. You get a pain, you go to the doctor. You get checked up, you get the medicine. If the pain is not gone and disease is not gone, you get a tranquilizer to calm you down. Exactly, you have a desire. You have no answer for the desire. You don't have any tranquilizer because you don't have a meditating mind. What is the difference between pain and push? Uncontrollable push is a pain. We do say, you have pain in the neck, you are this, you are that, he is so and so, we judge everybody, we label every behavior, we fully understand. When it comes to us, we are totally blind. Nobody looks at oneself. We judge everybody, we never judge ourselves. We want to impress everybody, we don't impress to ourselves. Isn't it amazing? We are totally insensitive to ourselves and we want to make sense to the others. Have you ever seen you talk to somebody, in 2 minutes you feel like vomiting? Have you ever connected with somebody that you feel like, God, you should not have done it? It's just like you wanted to see something red, you put your hand and you found it's a burning furnace. You burned your skin. Psyche connects and deconnects so fast. It damages like lightning. And scars are forever. Life is very sophisticated and absolutely a very subtle thing. It cannot be misused. It's a chance to live. There's a chance to love. And there's a chance to be. Guru Ram Das represents that glorious golden chance. That's why his mandir is called Hari Mandir, God's temple, and that's why we call it a golden temple. He is the seer, he is the sire, he is the sar, bringing human life to the glory and to the efficiency of a respectability of that golden chance. Each one of us, doesn't matter whether we are born in filth and ghetto and whether we are born in the richness of absoluteness of fulfillment, need that golden chance. Golden chance when we can do what cannot be done, when we can surmount, conquer the impossible. That chance. And that chance is not to prove it to you and prove it to me, that chance is proved within ourselves. We have to prove to ourselves that we are not impossible. Have you ever thought of it? I am impossible within myself. I am uncontainable within myself. I am not harmonious within myself, to myself, for myself. As they say, democracy is of the people, for the people, by the people. Harmony is of the self, for the self and by the self. Have you understood? Have you understood knowledge and acknowledgement is for the self, within the self and by the self? Have you understand grace is within the self, for the self and by the self? Have you understood the wisdom is for the self, within the self, by the self? Have you understood there is nothing beyond the self? Self is, self was and shall be. And do you understand that's God? Do you understand poverty means nothing to anybody, nobody can be poor? It is the emotional discontinuity of the life within the life, that one cannot honor one's own opportunities. Do you understand the anger, lust, greed, attachment, whatever those 5 things are just miserable to make us more miserable, because within ourselves we have no controlled behavior? Do you understand monkeys are monkeys and they are never horses? Do you understand horses are horses, they are never dogs? Do you understand the difference between a rope and a snake and a rope? Just in darkness, sometimes rope looks like a snake and sometimes snake looks like a rope. But when you touch it, you know rope is a rope and snake is a snake. Do you understand all that glitters is not gold? So what is the answer? Answer is your self-contained intuition. Doesn't matter how much beneficial relationship is, when there is no reverence, walk out of it before it blows over. The indication life is the disrespect to oneself. And what is the most disrespect to yourself? What is the most disrespectful? There is a beach. The life on the beach is beautiful, but when the storm hits, what happens to the beach? People run inland. It is the disgraceful storm which we create in our life, which destroys. Some people create a storm once a month, once a year, and some on every hour. And do you understand? The beaches which are calm and quiet and peaceful and very green and lush or blue, they have all the visitors call opportunities. The beaches which are very stormy, very ugly, where every way the tidal wave hits, nobody goes there. They are barren. Some people feel they get married, their life will be solved. Dead wrong. Some people believe they can remain simple and they can give up the whole earth, life will be fine. Dead wrong. I once met a great yogi who was living in a cave. I looked at his arrangement and his engineering. I had to ask him. I said, when you were on this planet, that's how I put it sarcastically, what were you doing then? I was a mechanical engineer. I was a professor in the engineering calling. I used to teach there. I said, that's why you could survive here. Who will consider to take the bamboo stick, and who will consider to measure the weights, and who will consider have the pulley system And who'll consider all this, that you can get air even when we are in 10 feet snow? He said, well, I knew it all. I said, what is the difference? What is the difference that you have bamboo stick? In this area, bamboos don't grow. They have to be brought, they have to be hauled in. And what is the difference you do things with air condition and pipe or you do with bamboo sticks? No difference. But in the Word, he couldn't maintain himself. Therefore he thought, in isolation he can contain himself. You know, the greatest thing in divinity, God, religion, imperiality, royalty is that you can contain yourself. You know why one love is blind and one directed and absolutely it's inertia? Because it totally takes you away from everything and totally contains you within one thought, longing. None of you know what love is. Love is a very contained experience. It's absolute. You know, people who are in love, they don't see anything, they don't hear anything. I saw once a girl in love, I mean, it's a 45-year-old woman in love. She happens to be in love. After a month I asked her, I said, how you feel? She said, beautiful, wonderful. I said, do you know what was the news today? She said, why to bother? I said, what happened last week? You know what an important thing happened and it does concern you. She said, okay, must be managed by my somebody. I said, somebody who? Have you seen your executive director? She said, what I pay him for if he has to bother me? After talking about 2 hours, I say, you are out of this world. She says, isn't it beautiful? Nothing could shake her. She couldn't shiver, she couldn't redirect herself, there's nothing. It's just like a hysteria bewitchment. You know, in spite of the fact you are the best instrument and you are most wonderful person, you cannot see in fog. You cannot see in fog, you cannot breathe in smog. And the life which has a fog and smog both at the same time, plus it is being hit by a tidal wave of commotionalism, and when absolutely there is an earthquake of insecurity, do you see how does it feel like? And we create a storm in the cup of tea. There is no union without yoga, and there's no God without goodness, and there's no divine without divinity, and there's no human without containment. You got to groove yourself to learn to be self-contained. It's too much short time and it's too huge experience. That's what this human body is all about. And let us see within our scope of purity what we can do. Simple hand. This is the hand, lock it. 4 fingers, just lock it, left 4 fingers, like 4 jewels, lock it with one hand with a grip, thumb will be out and this thumb will touch. It's a very strange thing. See it? These are my 4 fingers of the hand, right? I put them together, this is my one hand, I lock them like this as I'm holding something. It gives you a sense of security, nothing more, but it's very effective. And I lock it like that and I put the thumb over. And that is my variance, they call it. And see how it effectively acts. It will. And you put it on your heart and sit and meditate. This Kriya is called Hriday Dham Kriya. It takes away your futuristic fears which are created by your past subconscious. This Kriya, whatever you may be, will force you to deal with the heart center. Sit still, body still, mind still, and feel still you are alive. That experience, feel it, experience it, that you are alive. In your own hand you are holding Mercury, Sun, Saturn and Jupiter, 4 planets. Thumb which is loose is your ego, thumb which is tightening these 4 planets is your head. Concentrate and relate yourself. Explain to yourself why you are itchy. Ask yourself, why cannot you be maintaining? Why you cannot maintain your containment? You are out for what? Those who love God they have to experience God. Those who love Guru, God contains them in his experience. The difference is one is a long way, one is a short one.
विद्यमान गुर आग थप्यो थिर साचो तख्त गुरु रामदास गुरु अमर गुरु ने गुरु श्री सत कल जुग राखी पत अगन देखत गत चरण कमल दास सब विद मान्यो मन सब विद मान्यो मन तब ही भयो प्रसन्न राज जोग तख्त दियन गुरु रामदास नानक
Inhale deep, exhale, inhale deep, exhale, inhale deep, exhale. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love and the pure light within you. Happy birthday for Guru Ramdas. Thank you very much. God bless you. Satnam.
something.